Hi everyone, and today we're going to do a quick change of the original Grundig CAR200 stereo that is in this very old Vauxhall Corsa. I have a Kenwood unit that's up here. It's a CD radio player. It's not brand new, but I know it works. It's one I was using in another car. It's in very good condition. I've got the cage that goes with it, and I'm going to keep the old one just in case anyone wants to put this car in a museum. But let's see how we get on. So first we need to take out, let's take out the fake tape that's used to interface with the existing one when you're trying to use a modern telephone. So we'll put all that to one side, over there. The Grundig unit has some little Allen screws that hide the holes that you can access to get it out. So I'll just take these out, just taking out the last one, and there it is. That's what they look like. Just put those to one side, and right, a couple of bent coat hangers. There are proper tools to do this, but you bend over some coat hangers and push them in like so. Same on this side, doesn't matter how long they are. They release the tabs that hold it in. You should then be able to pull this unit free. Reluctant. Let's take these out. Right. That then pulls up, and it unplugs from its connections at the bottom. Now the connections at the bottom, I believe, are actually the standard ISO connectors. So I'm going to put this to one side. I want to remove this cage from in here as well. So I can see there's a bolt at the bottom. That looks like a 10mm bolt. I'm going to have to take that out. Hopefully this cage will then slide forward. There may be some tabs holding it. Right in the back of here we've got a 8mm bolt, which I'll take out and show you. It's right in the middle of the back. Feel it turning. Let's see if I can grab it without it falling somewhere. Falling into the cage. Back. Okay. There it is. It's actually a screw. It started raining while I went to get my tools as well. The theory is that that's holding in this cage. The question, of course, is what else is holding in this cage? The answer to that is there's a couple of tabs. I say a couple of tabs. There looks to be a tab at the front here. There. I'm guessing there's one here as well. Alright, there is. That then wants to come out, but the connector block at the back is holding it in. I don't know if we can actually show you that, but in there, there's the connector block down the back there. It's holding that in, so I need to free up that connector block and allow it to pass out of the back of this unit. I think there are some tabs on the back of it that allow that, or on the side of it. Yeah, I can feel on the side of it there are some tabs stopping it. There is also, and that one's loose, there are some tabs on the aerial connection, which I also need to free up. I don't suppose the aerial's going to be long enough to pull it all the way out, and I can see the aerial cable. Perhaps you can see the aerial cable in the back there. It's passing through a little clip. So I'm going to have to push it out of that little clip and get it to free up. So let's see if I can do that with my screwdriver. And then free up. There's some little clips on the aerial connection. I'm going to push in, this thing comes out. So the aerial connection is in this hole here. There's a little couple of clips on it, and the main power connection is in this hole here. And that then removes that from the car. Very carefully done, and free now to work on it. Now you can see, hopefully you can see in here, there's the aerial connection, but that aerial connection isn't the same as the aerial connection on the back of here. What I need is an adapter to go with it, and if I look at the back of the radio that came out of the car, you can see it has this connection. So that type of adapter is something you need to buy. I'm going to go and have a look and see if I've got one. I don't have a adapter, so I've ordered one, but we'll come on to that at the end when it's arrived. The adapters I've just shown you inside, the connectors, there are 3 of them. One of them is related to the connection for the data display at the top. The other 2 are to do with power and speakers. Those are the 2 that I need to connect to using the ISO adapter. But because there's 3, I don't think you can actually connect to them all as they are. I think you need to separate them out. So I'm going to have a look at doing that and take another photo for you. If I reach in here, I can kind of feel it. Okay. Not easy working in here, but I can just about see in while I push on that. Actually, that does feel like it's gone on, and it's not pulling off. Oh, that's good. So maybe I don't need to separate them. So here we go. Let's. I'll show you in there, and I'll do a photo of it as well. That's how it looks at the moment. I'll do a photo too. Okay, at this point, it actually pays just to connect the thing up and just make sure it works. Now, I know we've got no aerial, and I don't actually have a CD on me either, but I'm going to plug this in. It didn't make any noise, I would have expected it to. I'll turn the ignition on. And there we go. If I put this on tuner, I can hear sound from both speakers. So I'm actually really reassured that this is working. We could plug an aux cable into it. Let's just pop it there and see if we've got an aux cable I can use. Actually I can't, because I'm recording with the device I would use, and that's not going to happen. But yeah, so there we go. So I know this is going to work, so I can fit the cage. Just before we do this though, actually thinking about it, if the yellow and the red are the wrong way around on this, you potentially you're shutting the whole radio down every time you turn the ignition off. So what I've done here is I've just programmed number 2 to be 92.5, number 1, all the others are, well, they are on different ones, there we go, but it's on 2. So theoretically when I turn the ignition off and back on again, it should come back on to radio preset 2, right? But instead it's come up with standby. It hasn't gone on to a preset. And that might not be the same either. So I think maybe my yellow and red need to switch. So I'll do that. The yellow and red are the constant power and temporary power cables. So I just unplug those. That's these two. And then you plug them into their opposite numbers. Some cars have different configurations, so you have to swap them over if it isn't working properly. It's interesting, I got a little arc there when I plugged the red into the yellow. And maybe there was constant power on that one. Double check. See what happens when I power it up now. There's tune up. It should be on position 2, and I can retune that. 95. There we go. I turn the ignition off. Take the key out. Stereo dies. Plug it in again. Turn it on. Comes up with tuner. Station 2, 95, there we go. So that's actually restoring to where I've left it rather than shutting the whole thing down with the ignition now, which is exactly as it should be. Right, so next stage, now we're happy with that. Well, just a note on that aerial thing. This aerial's very short in here. Doesn't even come forward of the dashboard, so I'm not going to be able to plug it in and then slide the aerial back. So the adapter I bought has a bit of cable on it, which should make the whole thing a lot easier. Right, I now need this to go in. This is the cage for it. This would slot in to here, so that's going to go in there. That's pretty cool. Let's make sure these tabs are pushed up so they can go in behind things. Get these little tabs on this. It should automatically go behind the dashboard when it slides in. They've been bent down a bit from being in previous cars, so I'll just bend those up so they're ready to go. There are some angled ones as well you can use if these don't work very well, if it's sort of still a bit loose. It's nice to go with these ones first if we can. There we go. Not sure there's a top on this. Looks like the whole thing's symmetrical. And that did absolutely nothing when that slid in there, which was a bit disappointing. But actually, yeah, that one's in. Okay, that is working. So I'll just hold those in. Really want to work, so what we'll do is we'll turn down that one there and that one there. Let's get those to fix, and then at the top good. That's in, ready to go. I think that's probably as far as I can go with this until I get that aerial, and then we'll plug it in. Okay, so here's the lead that I've ordered. That goes into the back of the new radio. This goes into the socket that used to plug onto the back of the old radio that's in here. Hopefully it just clips in, but well, there we go. very tight fit. Okay. It's a very tight fit and wiggle it. Okay, well, what I've also done in here is, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I've also put a cable tie onto this to stop this unplugging, because this isn't the best connection. So that's now in there as it needs to be. I've got my two connections. So I'm going to hook up the radio with the aerial into the aerial hole. The wiring loom that comes with it just clips in, which is great. There it is. Now I know that in this car this is a bit tight for space, so I've just pulled the loom out the back as I slid that one in there. Now, just before I go any further, let me just turn on the ignition. There we go, the ignition's on. I'll just pop this one in here. Now we know this worked earlier, I just want to check the aerial's okay. Onto tuner, which presumably isn't tuned in. Just do a quick search. And there we go. Gosh! Right, hopefully that won't trigger any anti-calamity rules. And there we go. So now all we've got to do is just put this into here and put that back into there, and yeah, when that basically that's that. Now I've got to tune these in and get it working. Yeah. I'm not going to play music because obviously that you get a problem with anti-copyright on YouTube, which is really frustrating. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. That's how we install a replacement radio in the Corsa B. Hope that was useful. Put a like on it if you like it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.